Welcome to Not Just Me, But God podcast show where, listen, it is not just me that's in this thing, but God who works in me. It's your girl Dolores, and we are back with another episode, guys. I'm so excited we are here. We're back with a new season. Last week was so awesome. We had a great guest on the show. And listen, it just keeps getting better and better. I'm so excited, guys. Listen, you know, we all have to have someone that gives us some type of wisdom and guidance, especially in the business industry. And I've been blessed to have someone that I can call up, send a text message and say, hey, listen, I need some advice. What can you tell me? You know, someone that can mentor me into something that can be a positive influence. Someone who shares insight, not just from personal, but from a business standpoint. And so I've been blessed to have that in my life. And, you know, he was on the show a while ago when we first started the podcast. And hey, I had to bring him back because he's doing some amazing things. And if you remember him, let me introduce him. Without further ado, I'm so excited to bring back Mr. Carlos Wallace. Yes, listen, Carlos is an award-winning author, filmmaker, and motivational speaker. Whose work is bridge entertainment and culture, community, and empowerment. Listen, he's a Navy veteran and a former union leader. Come on now, y'all. He now leads how do you say that? Sol-Caritas LLC, a Houston-based production company supporting arts and nonprofits. And if you haven't been to his events, y'all, you have to go. They're very powerful. He also has books and films. I've seen them and read them. Stop playing. And you know what? His films explore purpose, resilience, and the power of truth through storytelling and mentorship, something that I'm very familiar with. Carlos uplifts voices often left unheard. He does it on stage, on screen, and also in real life. And I can attest to it.
Wow. Who wrote that?
Look, okay.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, Carlos. I'm so excited to have you back on the show.
Hey, I'm glad to be here, man. When you hit me up, I was like, yes. I don't even need to look at the date. I don't know the topic. Yes.
Yes.
You know, when like you said, I've known you a long time, and everything you do is always some positive. It's you put in good work, and I think you need to quit writing and directing and start just doing this because you're pretty good, man.
Okay.
you really good.
We're gonna see where God gonna lead me. Okay.
Right.
I'm ready to be led.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited. So a lot has been happening with you.
Yes.
Like a lot even since the movie.
Right.
So I know you did a movie, you're writing books, you're actually a professor.
Yes.
So wait, so your book is now being presented as a curriculum inside of a college?
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
Prairie View A&M. So Dr. Sawyer, she and I, we go back actually to Lone Star College. She used Life is Not Complicated in her curriculum there, and so when she moved over to Prairie View, probably about 6 years ago now, she took Life is Not Complicated there, right? And since it's used at several colleges around the country and a couple of high schools. But 2 years ago, when I published Why Sell Lies and the Truth is Free, she read that actually before I published. She said, man, this book has to go in psychology. We're going to create a whole curriculum around this book.
Wow, playing.
And to further that, like, it's now, you can buy it at the Prairie View bookstore anytime. Like, and the first week they had them, it sold out instant, like within 2 days. And so he was like, well, I'm just glad everybody see in this book what I saw when I read it. Like, it's just a story. And again, it's empowerment. But it's one of those books that'll make you think.
Okay.
Like that's the main thing. Like whenever I create anything, whether it be a comedy show, poetry show, books, movies, I want you to leave there with something. Like, and this book does that.
Wow, that's good. And you know, it just kind of shows that just because you write a book, and yeah, we want bestseller,
Right.
we want to be the number one on,
Right.
whatever platform that we, display it on.
Right.
It can go to further heights.
Yeah, well, when I published my first book, and I won't say the name of the book fair or whatever,
Okay.
but I left there so disappointed because I didn't learn anything.
Okay.
I sold a lot of books, and I purposely scheduled my audio release for my book to come out the same weekend as that,
Right.
as the book fair. So a lot of my people came because they was like, "Hey, we got the book, now we want the audio," and that was back when they were on CDs. So they had to come there to get the
They
CD,
had to come get it.
right? And I was like, "But I could have done this anywhere. I could have sold I could have sold these CDs at my shows. I came here to learn something, and I didn't learn anything." And so a couple of weeks later, I attended another book fair in New York, and it was kind of the same thing. Like, I'm a new author, and I'm sitting on the Q&A panel. I'm like, no, I should be in the audience asking questions, not answering questions.
Okay.
And I just kind of felt robbed. Like, I paid all this money to register, to set up a booth and so forth, but I didn't learn anything.
Okay.
So not long after that is when I met Sawyer, and she mentioned about bringing it to Lone Star. She introduced me to the president, and he enjoyed the impact that it had on students. And so the light bulb came on. I said, you know what? It's more than one way to sell a book.
Yes.
So if it's good enough for one school system and curriculum, it's good enough for all of them.
I know that's
And so that became my mission, to get it in as many schools as I could after that. And it's worked out.
And you are setting a great example and foundation for something new, for something different.
Right. And what I tell authors, for one, you're not writing this book for your neighborhood. You're representing your neighborhood, but you're writing it for the world. And so make sure all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. Spend money on the editing. Make
Right.
sure and my whole thing when I published the first time was, if my book's on the shelf next to Malcolm Gladwell, I want my package to look just as nice as his, right?
Okay.
And that was the number one thing. I don't want people to open up and say, "Oh yeah, you can tell this self-published," or
Wow.
"Yeah, he didn't." And I said, no, it's going to be professional. But the open end to that is, I had no idea it was going to be in colleges.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad I put forth that effort to make sure it was a professional product, because you never know where it's going to land.
That's good.
And also, your book will represent you long after you're gone.
That's
It's the only thing that lasts longer than the tombstone.
Look, a lot of times in college, we are reading books from authors that are, it's been a long time.
And I say that all the time. I ask people that are been in higher education, and even some in high school, depending where you went to high school, how many books have you read because you were forced to? And specifically Prairie View, when I'm talking to those students, and I say, how many times you had the opportunity to read a book from someone that looks like you, thinks like you, and because the latest book tells a story, they can understand that story because it came from somebody that looks like them.
Right.
And it's not so much a Black story. It's just a story that is familiar to people like us. You know what I mean? And that's what made it that much more enjoyable. Now the kids, my wife works at Prairie View, and sometimes the kids will be in her office, and she has a book in there, and they go, "Hey, you know him?" And, well, yeah, I'm kind of married to him.
That's my husband.
and then the conversation changes. "Oh my God, he was in our class today," and and she'll come home and tell me about it. And it's very rewarding.
So you're what we call, you're a different kind of hero, right? Though.
I just do the work. I'm just doing God's work, like that.
Yes. You're a hero for our community.
Well, thank you.
In a way that a lot of people, sometimes they want to be heroes, on TV, or they want to be in sports and things like that. But it's so many other ways to make an impact in our community and be involved in the youth.
Right.
And you are involved in the youth, and not just the youth, those who want to express themselves.
Right.
Because you do the poetry.
Yeah.
You have the comedy, and comedy is pretty much real life situation.
Right.
We're just making fun with it, right?
That's correct. That is exactly it.
Yeah. So a lot has happened since you've been writing. You actually was included in some awards. Explain this to me, and I'd rather you explain it because I feel like you would kind of articulate it in a better way than I would.
So my latest book was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize.
Yes.
Which is really phenomenal because independent books rarely ever reach that height. And it's not because they're not good. It's just that they hadn't landed in the right places.
Okay.
So you have to be nominated by a major publication or someone on the Pulitzer board, so forth, so on. So a publication in Dallas, actually, they got my book, however, and I was nominated. So when I received the email at first, it was no big deal to me. I don't chase the rewards, the trophies and whatnot. But Liz, she's from the literary world. Like, she knows that backwards and forwards. And when I told her, she was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, everything is, you know what that means?
Yeah.
When the schools wanted to put it in curriculum, I was like, yeah, okay. We were in Montreal, and I hung up the phone, told her. She's like, don't you know what that means?
Yeah.
And again, I don't, because I'm just doing the work.
Right.
But to your point, like, my goal is to always be impactful. To always do what I can to make any situation better.
Yeah.
And we have a crisis of kids not wanting to go to school.
That's true.
And if you can give them that much more incentive to want to go, if I can be a part of that, even if it's a small piece, if I can be a part of that, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah. That's good. I remember through previous conversation, was it your father or grandfather that was a judge?
Grandfather.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I can see how a lot of that has passed down, to you.
Yeah, he, again, when you come from a family like that, like, I say this people say, why are your comedy shows always so good? And I said, well, Terry sets a tone.
Yes.
Off top, right?
Yes.
And if the previous 30 shows have been sold out shows, like, so that collection of group want to say, well, we want to make sure we're not the ones that don't sell out.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, they hear all the good things other people are saying about the show. So what do you say? Well, I don't want to be the one that mess it up. Like, so it pushes you to be better.
Yes.
My family the same way. Like, I come from a family of, legacy, like, driven, impactful people. Mm-hmm. So my thoughts are, I don't want to be the one to drop the ball. Like,
That's
you
good.
know what I mean? When you guys are at my funeral, I want you saying, how are we going to replace him?
Yeah. Like,
he fills so many gaps, like,
yeah.
Because that's the type of family I came from on both sides, mom and dad. Like, so that's why I'm the way I am.
Okay. So it comes from a good foundation, a good family
Absolutely.
Foundation. So what can you say to encourage those who may have not had that good foundation? Maybe they want to be that first person maybe in their family to start building something for their future generation to come. What is some advice that you could possibly give to them?
Be around the right people. Like, I'm the first in my family that I know of to write a book. Mm-hmm. I'm the first to be nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. I'm the first to produce a movie. Like, so I'm still a first, right? Yeah. It's just they did what they could in their era with what they had. And so it's my job to do that too, even if it starts with me.
Okay.
But I've had the same mentor since 1996, Michael L. Herzig. He gonna be mad because he don't like when but he's like, you do it all by yourself. There's no such thing as doing it by yourself.
Right.
But a lot of things that I've learned as an adult came from him.
Okay.
The foundation started with parents and grandparents, but a lot of what I've learned came from him. He was the one that said, knock on that door even if they don't give you permission. Like, and when you get in the room, be yourself. That's why you got invited. Like, it was him that gave me those nuggets. But he encouraged me to become a union officer. And when I became a union officer, it's like the doors just blew off. Not long after I met Obama. Like, this is long before he was president. He's just a senator.
Okay.
And but being a union officer and an organizer like that just put me in rooms that I never even dreamed of, much less thought I'd be in them. Like, but it just opened a lot of doors. Later met a guy, Greg Floyd. He's the president of New York Teamsters. We rang the bell at NASDAQ. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I may be the first in my family to do that. Like, It's just, so I'm still a first in a lot of things, but the foundation is what, put it out there. That's what laid the groundwork.
Okay. That's good because a lot of times people feel like they're not good enough. right? And the whole show is just me. I'm good enough.
Yeah.
And it ain't just me.
Yeah.
But it's more so knowing that you have all that you need
Absolutely.
to accomplish whatever it is that you were put on this earth to do.
Absolutely.
Just you, just me.
Yep.
And to know that we have everything that we need inside of us already.
Right.
It's just kind of like implementing what we have, and like you said, connecting yourself with the right people.
Yes.
And surrounding yourself around people that actually care.
Right.
Because it is a lot of people who don't really care.
Right. So my latest seminar that I'm doing is called The Chicken versus the Eagle.
Okay.
And the first question I ask the students, are you a chicken or an eagle? An eagle normally flies 10,000 feet all alone, taking chances. And chickens are on the ground, usually in large groups, safe. But all they're doing is pecking. Are they really accomplishing anything, And there's nothing against the chicken.
Right.
But is that where you want to be forever? You want to be on the ground amongst a collection of people just pecking? Or do you want to soar to heights that you never dreamed of? And so I go through continuously exercises, and by the end of the day, we know who's an eagle and who's a chicken.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So this is with the younger group of people, right?
I did it last week with at this real estate seminar conference. I did a seminar for them, and it was with young kids.
Yeah, I see.
But I can adjust it for 80-year-olds.
I bet.
Yeah. It's because some people are chickens and they don't even realize it.
Uh-oh.
But like I said, through the exercises, I have questions, I have cognizant quizzes.
Right.
And by the end, it tells you who you are if you're honest. And the thing is, with anything, if you're taking a chance. And the worst thing that can happen is you can fail, dust off, and get up and try again. That's the worst thing that can happen. Mm-hmm. And when I was nominated for the Pulitzer, there were some people that told me, you've already won. And some said, what if you don't win? I said, no, I've already won. To be nominated, I've won. To get, for your book to even be recognized, you know how many books are published every week? Exactly. Millions, right?
Millions. Yes.
And so I remember a few years ago, my book the first one fell down in 2 million on Amazon. And I was talking to Dion. He does all my graphics and he's like, man, do you realize it's 50 million books on Amazon and you're in the top 2 million. I was like, okay, well, that's a good one. I didn't think about it that. I'm trying to stay in that top 100,
okay. Yeah.
And but that's only going to be for so long. Somebody else, there's 99 other books that's going to come along that people enjoy. So you just want to have a steady, consistent,
Yeah.
Yeah. But Life has been out almost 12 years and it still sells. So I'm pretty cool with that.
Yeah, and it's going to continue to sell with great grandchildren in the residual.
Right, absolutely.
So that's
why I self-publish. No publishing company getting that money, right?
I know that's right. And that's a way that a lot of people don't really look at things, is looking at it for the big picture.
Right.
Setting up the foundation for our generations to come.
Right.
And so that's something that I see that you're doing.
Ownership.
And accomplishing.
Ownership.
So that's awesome.
and today, content. Look at, people pay big money for content.
Dude.
I own all my content. That's why. Back to you saying you are good enough and you are equipped with what you have. Mm-hmm. TV is trying to create reality. You are reality.
Yes.
You are reality. Just package it. You are what they're trying to sell.
Wow.
So, you just have to believe in you. Be an eagle.
Be an eagle.
That's it.
So when the people find out that they chickens,
we got some programs that'll help them, because I know you want to grow some wings, and but listen, if an eagle and a chicken is in the same place at the same time, the eagle is out of place.
They out of line.
Because the chicken can't go 10,000 feet. The eagle must have been on the ground.
Ooh.
So see, you an eagle and didn't even know it. Now get on back up there where you supposed to be.
If you don't get up out of here.
Yes.
So wait. So both people can realize something, right? So if you see someone that is saying, okay, from the chart, they realize they're an eagle, that has got to be, I guess, self-conscious. I mean, if someone told me I was an eagle, but I'm sitting here with the chickens, I would feel a certain way about that.
And you should. You should look in the mirror and feel a certain way.
Like, what is you doing?
Because a lot of times, a lot of people have great ideas and big ambition, and they allow other people to talk them out of it. And I tell people all the time, don't let others talk you out of your blessing.
Yes.
Like you got this great idea that you want to put in motion, but the 2 or 3 people around you say, girl, you can't do that.
Oh.
Don't you know that ain't going to work? Don't even talk to those. When people say, what do I do about that? Don't talk to them. Why are you even sharing your ideas with those people?
I'm going to tell you real quick on that.
And you know who they are. Like
you know who they are.
Yes.
I had an idea to do a gospel club, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone was like, no, I don't think. I'm like, yeah, but it's just really been on me to do.
Yes.
And I didn't do it. And now you see them everywhere.
You see?
You see people.
God sent you a message and you let the devil talk you out of it. Yeah, no, you can't.
So I'm just saying that to testify that happens all the time, where people are not listening to the Spirit, to the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
Listening to what God has ordained for them to do. And now you're stalled.
Yep.
And now you're in complacent, sitting there and wondering, why am I not moving?
Yep.
Why things aren't working for me? Because the idea that God gave you,
that's right,
you didn't move on it.
You didn't move on it. Now, how many times you'll call me and say, Carlos, I'm thinking about doing such and such. The worst I'm going to do is tell you the challenges you may face. Right. That's the worst I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But I've never said, that's a horrible idea.
Right.
Because no idea is a bad idea.
Right.
It might have bad execution, or your setup may not. But every idea, especially if it's new, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, when I wanted to do shows at the Improv, I talked to 2 people, and they said, man, they ain't going to let you do shows there. Now, here we are, almost 20 years later, and I was just at the Improv Friday and hadn't been there in a couple months. Man, where you been? You family. Like, where have you been?
Right.
And I always think back, what if I listened to those people? What if I listened to them and never gone to the Improv? Like, I don't know how many lives those shows have changed. I've had ladies come to me and say, look, my son died in a car accident, and this is the first time I've been out of the house. This made my night. This made my week. That's what comedy can do.
Yes.
You know, poetry, the same. Like, and when I think about times like that, and people say, man, you busy with the books and the movies, why do you even still bother with live shows? That's why.
Yep.
That's why. You know, because I know the impact that it has. And we have people that for 18, 19 years have come to every show. May have missed 1 or 2 here or there, but they are loyal people. Like, you know, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. And it's good, and it says a lot about you and your crew when people can continuously come out, you know, show after show, and you can sell out show after show. It just really shows you as a manager and leader over this particular project. It just shows how you're there and you're able to keep everything flowing, keep it managed, because a lot of times things start from management.
That all the time to me. Like, that is organizing school. If I didn't know it before, it taught me that. Yeah. Like, and it made me appreciate my parents and grandparents, like, because the leadership does matter. Yeah. And because if that structural makeup is solid, yeah, you might have a couple things here or there go wrong, but if the structural makeup is solid, it'll remain solid.
It remains solid.
And that's in the household, that's family structure. You know, I was the keynote speaker at the union convention up in Ohio last year for the state workers of Ohio, and I did a Q&A. And one lady asked me, so have you always been a union person? And I said, yeah. And she said, what was the first union? I said, my church. Like, my church was the first union I was in. Yeah. My mother was the union rep, and the pastor was the president of the union. Like, so if we had some issues with the city or whatever, you tell the pastor. He's the one who went down to City Hall. Wow. And he had respect because City Hall know how many people is at his church. So fast forward today, look at what Pastor Jamal Bryant's doing. He is the union voice of so many people, and he has Target on their knees right now because of that, right? Yep. And so as I talked about that, you know, afterwards they came over and want to take pictures, and the lady said, you know, I never thought about it like that. I said, you're a union if you're in a collective group of people with one mindset moving in the same direction. It doesn't have to be behind numbers and letters and paying dues, but if you're in a collective group moving in the same direction, that's when you are the most powerful.
Yeah.
That's when you are the most powerful. And I don't care what the entity is, they're going to respect you because they know what comes with you.
You really helped her see a different perspective, and I'm sure everyone else that was in that audience or listening to see things from a different perspective.
Well, I think some of them, they came, I don't want to say this, hear me fail, but like I'm a super pro-union guy.
Okay.
And there are people that are in unions that are just not. Like they just kind of there for the benefit.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the audience. Like,
okay.
And I changed their minds. Like they came
know
over
that's right.
and a couple of them said, man, I didn't know what to expect from you. I know what that means.
Like, dang, what you trying? They all alive for that, Carlos.
They didn't pay me this money to come up here for nothing, brother.
Right.
Like, but no, I know it. I know what those type of comments mean. One guy told me once, man, you don't know anything about politics. I was like, you saying that because I'm young? Because a lot of people think I'm a lot younger than what I am.
Okay.
Or because I'm black. And he wouldn't answer. And like, because it's one or the other, bro. But let's discuss it.
Right.
Let's talk about it. And that he didn't want to do. So, but yeah, I don't even bring up a topic if I can't support it with facts.
Yeah.
If I can't support it, I will say, no, that's you. Hey, that's your lane. I'm gonna let you rock that lane. But I'm never gonna tell you that you're wrong in your lane. If I don't have facts to support what I'm saying, I'm not even gonna say it.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, because a lot of times we think we know things, or we're just speaking off of feeling.
Yes.
And not
emotions is your biggest handicap.
Right.
Well, and now in today's with social media, a lot of people just echo what they've read or saw, and they don't go read. They don't,
Yeah.
In my second book, The Other 99 Times, I wrote this chapter, and it was about hip hop, and basically what I was saying is hip hop has become like the headlines in media, right? People just read the headline; they don't read the article.
Yep.
And so hip hop, people only just listen to the hook. They don't even pay attention to the verse, to the words. And that has really hurt real hip hop artists that are really talking about something, right? Because you just get a guy, and I love everybody's work, even if I don't like it. It should be an opening for everybody to do their work. But there are hip hop songs, the hook is nice, and the song is trash. Like, it's horrible. If you ever just stop and listen to it.
It'd be the beat.
It's just the beat and the hook. And I say that's how social media is now. People just read the caption, the headline. They won't even take time to go read the body.
That's so true.
Liz and I was talking about the Diddy trial about a year ago, about 6 or 8 months ago. And I said, I don't think they're going to be able to convict him. And she goes, really? And our daughter from New York was down, and I was sitting there with him in the kitchen, and I said, I read the entire indictment, and I don't see anything in there that's gonna stick. And Ashley, all she took away was, you read the whole indictment?
Because that's a lot. I'm sure it was a lot.
And so to this day, that's all she'll say is, because Carlos gonna read the whole indictment. Even with Project 2025, 954 pages, I read every single page. And I said, look, we need to be serious about this. If you go read Project 2025, there's something in there that'll hurt you, I promise. And so we talking about, she said, you read? I said, all 954 pages. Like, because I need to know what's in there. But again, because when I get into these debates and town hall meetings and verbal exchanges, I need to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because I look like I don't to some people.
That's funny. Yeah, I like that. Staying ready so you don't have to get ready.
Amen.
Yes, I love that.
Amen. And I don't go into anywhere looking for the fight, But if asked a question, when I give you the answer and you look at me like, man, that ain't true. Really? Well, how about this?
Yeah.
And then we go into it. And by the end, they're either really upset or we're friends. It's one or the other.
So staying equipped is one of your I guess we'll say weapons. It's staying equipped.
Number one.
To be ready for whatever fight that may come your way, because they're gonna come.
That's right. They are gonna come.
Yeah.
When you're an eagle, everybody wanna see you fall. Like, that's just, they had to protect eagles so people wouldn't shoot them. Like, Why are you shooting that bird? It's 10,000 feet. Mind his own business.
His own business.
But but when that's just a part of being a leader and being a success. You know, regardless of how you define it. There's also gonna be people waiting to see you fail, and that's the part of it. Yes.
Unfortunately.
and sometimes it's the people closest to you. You know.
Yes, I'm learning that. It's a lot of things that I've been learning over the years as I'm growing older.
Yes.
In my life, that a lot of times it is the people that's closest to you.
Can be, yeah.
Unfortunately, and just having that discernment to know who's around you, who's there for actually your benefit, and those who are there to.
That's right. And if you pay attention, you will know. You know, I had a discussion with a class last semester, and we was talking about that. So there's that story in life where a guy that was my friend from age 4 to that day, 22, that lied to the police on me. Like, for those out there, you have to read the book because I don't want to take up too much time and tell the story.
Okay, read the book, y'all.
But as I was telling the students, all they wanted to know was, are you still friends with him? I said, no, I hadn't spoken to him since that day. And a lot of them, oh no, I'd have to go confront him and let him know that I know. I said, for what? Like, what are you gonna gain? You know, when the police chief showed me the police report and what he had written on there, my mind was made up. Like, and my father had told me, he said, that boy ain't your friend. He said, you keep talking about tomorrow, and all he talks about is yesterday. He said, that is not your friend. And I never, I was like, daddy, you tell your parents, they don't understand. Like, nah, we cool. And then when the incident happened, all I could hear was my dad saying, I told you, And so it did me no good to go confront him and say, hey man, I know what you told the police.
Right.
I know what you wrote in that report. Like, I needed to free myself. And I hadn't spoken to him since that day. Like, going talking to him wouldn't do me any good.
This has been such a great conversation that we've been having. I mean, we've been all over the place. But the main thing that I'm taking from this is to set a good foundation for yourself.
Right.
To be equipped.
Yes.
To be able to fight whatever battles may come your way. And don't be stuck with the chickens if you know you're an eagle.
That's correct.
Okay.
In that moment, I had to find out I was an eagle. Like,
in that moment,
and so for me to go tell him that I knew that would be me going back down into the chicken coop.
Ooh.
For what?
That's good.
For what? I'm on to the next thing.
That's good. I love it. That's why I love speaking with you, Carlos. So look, on the show, we always ask the question,
Okay.
The show is just me, I'm good enough. At times in our lives, we sometimes fall into a mindset that we got to get out of, right? Where we may feel like we're not good enough to do a certain thing, certain project, or whatever that may be. Can you tell us a time where you felt like you may not have been good enough and how you overcame that?
Never.
I know. You're like, I've always been good enough to do anything.
No. So I want to share this story. And I'm sure I probably told you before, but when I was in the 4th grade was the first time that I was chosen as a leader of my peers. I was voted president of the junior historians, like a Texas-based history group in school, 4th grade. And man, I was so proud, just excited. And the next day we were going to take a picture for the newspaper, all the officers. Mm-hmm. And I'm from a small town, man. So if you're in the newspaper, you done something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and I was a paper boy too. Come on now. You getting the extra copies. And so my mother had me wear an all-white button-down shirt. Now, I didn't then, but I know now. If you heavily melanated like myself, in a black and white photo, you don't wear white shirts.
Okay.
And so we took the picture, man, and it came out in the newspaper on Sunday, that's when the whole town get the paper.
Everybody gonna see.
Because the coupon's in there, Mm-hmm. And I got back to school on Monday, and literally, like, I had already saw it because got the paper the day before, but you couldn't see my face because I was so dark because of the white shirt.
Yeah.
And so I went from a high winning the presidency on Wednesday, that following Monday, everybody picking on me, saying, "Oh man, we couldn't even see you." Da, da, da. And man, that really tore me up. And so I got home and I was telling my mom about it. She said, "Sit down, let me talk to you." She said, "Let me tell you something. You darker than them because you're better."
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." And she said, "Every room you walk into, you control that room. You are the most important person in that room. And you can do anything that people tell you can't do."
Yes.
And I was like, man, how did we get there? And I'm listening to this, and I just felt empowered.
Yes.
And from that day forward, I've been, and from fourth grade until I graduated high school, ask anybody in my class, I have been the president of something every year. Student council, choir president, fellowship of Christian athletes. I was a voted leader every year in my school years. And my mother's the reason. Like, I wear loud clothes. I wear she said, the blacker you are, the brighter them clothes better be, because people tell you that you can't.
I'm crying.
And so I've just taken that same mentality into life. You know, whether it be a book I want to write, whether it be a movie, because my thing is, I have a heavy standard. If it meets my standard, it's good enough.
Okay.
And I'm fortunate to be able to marry someone that's the same way. Like, when I wrote my first book, Liz looked at it, she said, "No." And I thought I was a writer until I met her. Look, and she said, "No." And then she put her, look, this, you need to change this. You need, and so then when we submitted to a publishing advisor, and she ripped it apart, man, I was depressed. Like, I was like, man, what the hell? I know I can get out.
Yes.
And so when I spoke to the lady, she's like an 85-year-old white lady. And she said, "Carlos, this is probably the best writing in all of my years from a first-time author." And I was like, "Really?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Yeah." And so it's just confirmation along the way, like, you are good enough.
Yes.
And I think when people do get in that funk, they listen to the wrong voices.
Yeah.
And sometimes the voices are in their head. You know, remember who your competition is. Yourself, the person in the mirror. So when someone say it ain't good enough, and I say, for who? So if you set your own standard, and you know it's a top-notch standard, if it meets your standard, that's good enough. Like, people will see a new project come out by me, a book, movie, whatever it is. It's, man, you hadn't said anything, because I don't need co-signers. Like, I have people that I trust in my inner circle, depending what the project is. If they say, that's a go, man, that's where we go. But I don't fill out the room, "Hey, man, what do you think about this? What do you think?" Because there's going to be haters in there.
They're going to say something.
First of all, they'll talk you out of it. And then second, you'll see a rendition of it that they come out with. So I said, don't do that. Like, why are you even sharing your ideas with them?
Yeah.
And that person should only do that one time. The second time is your fault.
Right.
You knew who they were. You knew it was a chicken.
You knew they was chicken walking around.
Just picking. You knew it was a chicken.
So look, it's a couple of things I got from what you just told me, okay? So one is being that what you learned at fourth grade, I can see how it can really stand still to today, even more to today because of social media. And how people are blasted on social media for little things. I mean, they could just be minding their business, and somebody done blasted. I honestly never understood why people share other people's downfalls. Like, that's so whack, and I'm gonna use that word because it's just lame to me.
Right, it is.
That they would do that.
Like, how's that funny?
How?
Yeah, how's that funny?
You know? And so that's one thing, is that people can overcome that, and your mother built that and helped you build that from a young age. And I never met your mother. I only hear from what you tell me, from what's in the book, and that's the only thing that I can kind of go off. But she was a very impactful woman. And she really led you and guided you, and I'm sure that came down from maybe her mother and her grandmother, you know, and it was passed down. So that's a blessing to be able to have that and someone to guide you with that.
Yeah, I look at the lesson now in a whole different way, because, and I share that specifically with mothers that would have rushed up to the school And one day, hey, they'll be picking on my baby. And and my mother never told me this. This is just me saying it. She taught me that because she knew one day she wasn't gonna be here to fight for me. So I'm gonna teach you how to fight for yourself, right? My mom died, she was 47. I was only 27. Like, that's really young.
Yes.
And so it was something in her that knew, no, I gotta give him his own tools.
Yeah.
And equipped him in his own way. And the same in business and so forth. Like, you need to be your insurance.
Yeah.
Like, if this thing fails, who am I gonna turn to? I'm turning to me. Like, and so when I bought my first house, my dad, he turned in his grave. He'll be mad that I'm sharing this. He came over and he's looking around. He said, why you buy a house so damn big? And a few other things. And finally, by the third time, I said, Daddy, how many mortgage payments are you gonna make? He said, well, hell, none. I said, so why are we talking about it? Like, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
And my dad and I had a great relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But in that moment, he was a chicken. Like,
don't be doing daddy like that. Look.
But no, and like I said, my dad,
Yeah.
I love my father, man. We had a great relationship. But sometimes it can be the people closest to you.
Yeah, and they don't mean to.
They don't mean to.
Yeah.
They don't like I know he was just being a father and trying to
Right.
look out and saying, man, did you overbuy? Did you, what? I don't want you to get yourself in a financial bind. Like,
Right.
and we had that discussion one time about something different. And I said, if I do, what does that say about how you raised me?
Uh-oh.
And he stopped. He said, you right.
Look.
Because you've done your job.
Yes.
You've done your job. Like,
Yes.
and I just want to prove to you that you've done your job,
Yes. Yes.
But that's the kind of relationship he and I had. We good dude, man.
Yeah.
Good dude. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And the second thing, because I got to give flowers where they do, is that, when you were explaining about the book and how, when you brought it to your wife and she was able to help you build that book into something even grander.
Yes.
To know
Yeah.
that you have someone that's behind you, standing there with you, that's going to help you make things even grander than what they are.
Right.
You alone are already something powerful, but to have a good partner, someone to be there to help you through that, it says it commends you that you're picking right.
Well, I blame my grandfather. He used to say all the time, if you don't have a wife that make you better, you got the wrong wife. Like,
Okay.
he said, marry somebody smarter than you.
Yes.
And but I was intentional. Like, I said, I want to have a partner, a mate, a person that I can help elevate.
Yes.
She can help me elevate, and together we elevate, right? And so when I met Liz, I met her because she asked me to grade her comedy set. Like, she wasn't looking for a boyfriend that I know of, and I definitely wasn't looking for a wife or a girlfriend. I was just divorced, and I was, I'm trying to get me right. You know what I mean? And our friendship developed into that. Like, I was the comedy group that I was working with at the time. We had done a 6-show run in New York, and the last day, an agent came to us and asked if we wanted to do a tour. And I was like, I guess, how much does it pay? Because I need a job, right? And I told Liz, and she said, well, do y'all have a press release? And I was like, what's the press release? Like, I'm green. Like, I'm not afraid to say what I don't know.
Right.
And the next day, she emailed me this press release, and I was like, this us? You talking about us? And then, again, we grew from there, you know. And it was her that encouraged me to write the book. Because I was like, a publishing company contacted me. I was like, man, that's not what I do. I'm an engineer. I'm focused on trying to produce comedy. Writing books is just not my thing. And she was the one that encouraged me to do that. And but again, we just on the way on trips, like we still drive long trips, and we talk about not so much business, but just like how we can help each other. Like, what are you trying to do? And that's constant. That's all the time. Hey, I'm trying to do such. How should I approach it? And that's both of us,
Yes. I love that. I love that so much. Oh my goodness. Look, we've been having a good time.
Oh, always.
Yes. So share with us anything that, you have coming up, anything that you want to leave with the audience. Where can they find you? Where can they follow you or get your information?
CarlosWallace.com. Everything is there. All my social media, LinkedIn, email. You can even call me through there. But don't let. I had a family member call me through my website. Now it goes to my agent when that happens, and they wanted me to pay a year mortgage. I was like, I don't even know you. Like, I thought that stuff was made up. I really didn't believe that type of stuff happens. But literally, I was living in New York, and I get home, and Liz said, "Hey, your agent called," and she said a family member called named such and such, and I was like, I don't have a cousin with that name. And I said, man, you need to investigate that. But yeah, like, she said, well, we behind on the mortgage like 10 months, and I was like, and you're like the only person we know that could pay it. You don't even know me.
Wow.
Like, you know of me, but you don't know me.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was kind of upsetting at first,
Yeah.
but it just brought a reality. Like, that type of stuff does really happen. And but yeah, so, but no, carloswallace.com. As far as what I have coming up, my man Mikhail, aka Fetty, we're working on this series of film. Okay. I hadn't even talked to you about that yet. Ooh. but it's gonna be coming out. Okay. They're all is 3 episodes, 8 minutes per episode. One tackles a brother, he want to go into the ministry, and his wife said, I didn't marry you for that. Like, I grew up in the church, I ain't trying to go back, so it's a struggle. Another one series, a brother, he has to leave his high wage job because his dad abruptly dies. He takes over the family restaurant, and he realized dad is in monstrous debt, and so he might have to sell his home. And the wife is like, hey, I ain't signed up for that. Mm-hmm. And so, but it leaves you thinking, like, well, is she wrong? You know what I mean? Like, and he didn't know dad had all this debt. He just trying to carry the legacy. The restaurant been in the family 5 generations. Yeah. Yeah. So we got several series just like that. Okay. That we're gonna be releasing them like one a month. And some will go back and do another 3 based on that one. Some will close out in 3. Men's mental health is 1 episode, 1 series about that. I love that. And yeah, we just gonna cover a lot of controversial things. And the purpose of it is to start a discussion. Yes, we gotta talk about that. Gotta talk about it. You know. That's
good. Well, Wrath of a Broken Man.
Wow. Okay.
My
favorite.
Yes, and I turned it into a movie,
my favorite.
And we had conversation about that because remember I was trying to figure out. I'm like, do a part 2? Should I make it into a movie? Yeah. And you gave me insight on that and how important it is for that conversation to be talked about the things that the men go through in regards to child support and being able to see their children and all of the extraness that comes. I would call it extraness.
It's a lot,
that comes with that.
Yeah.
And so.
No, I was really proud of you for writing that. For one, I really was. When I came to see the play, I had to hug you really tight. I was like, because, and I'm the guy that's not here to bash women, and I'm not here to bash men. Like, because I've heard enough stories on both sides. Right. There are some guys. The amount you pay is irrelevant. And I'll tell you, the reason I say that is because it's based on 20% of your salary. Yeah. So if you pay a lot, that means you make a lot, right? So that's irrelevant. Mm-hmm. Because for every woman that's getting $3,000 a month for 1 child, there's women out there with 3 children getting $300 a month. You know what I'm saying? So if the state could do anything, is maybe everybody pay into a pool and just set the wage base per child, to make it even for everybody. I don't know, but I don't even get into a discussion when they say, well, man, I pay $1,800 a month. Well, you must make a lot then, because that's 20% of whatever, brother. Make, so let's get off of that. But the number one thing is, I tell men and women, remember who's number one in this whole equation: the child. And when you don't think that they see you arguing, or you don't think they see you bickering back and forth, but the worst part of it all, if a child see that mama and daddy don't like each other, that child will manipulate both of y'all. Ooh, he'll use you against him and him against you. Yep. And at the end of the day, it's the kid that's like, so if at best, try to always remain on a united front. And because your goal is to create a product that's going to be a positive contribution to society. Right. Whether that's 1 kid, 2 kids, 10 kids, that is the goal, right? Yes. You don't want to create anything that's going to take away. Right. It's going to contribute. And I don't know if my parents always got along, but I know that was always the goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can say that. Like, that was always the goal. I talk about it in life. My grandparents, now, they were married 68 years, and I have never seen them argue. I'm sure there probably been an argument or two,
Right.
but I'm saying I've never
ain't
seen
seen
it.
it. Yeah.
Everything about them said united front. And I think that's the example we need to all try to set.
Yes.
Because again, if the kids see that, hey, I can twist mama one way and twist daddy another way, and because they looking out for them. they trying to get a new bike for Christmas, you know, or PS2 or whatever that we up to now.
I think they have 5.
Okay,
now.
at 5, that's what they trying to get.
That's what they trying to get.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or the new car at 16 or whatever. Like and so you need to whoever the lead, like, and hopefully the dad is the lead. But if it's two different households, you know, my daughter was raised in a household. Her mother married another guy, and he called me one day and said, "Hey man, I said, dude, that you the head of that household.
Look,
you the head of that household, and your rules are what govern that. You know what I mean? And if she don't listen to you, you do what you got to do. Like, that's, you know what I mean? And it's not he's not trying to take my place. That's not.
Right.
But you are the governor of your house, and that's just how it is. You know.
Yeah.
And I say that to women: if you marry another man and you have children, he's the governor of that house.
Yeah.
That needs to be understood before we even get married.
Yeah.
He's the eagle. You know what I mean? And what we're trying to do is not raise a bunch of chickens.
Well, I guess we can end right there. We ain't trying. Thank you so much for coming out, Carlos.
No, thanks for the invite.
Yes, you
Thank
guys
you
can
so
find
much.
Carlos at carloswallace.com.
That's
Stop
it.
playing with Carlos.
That's
Listen,
it.
you go to that one spot and you can get all of his information, movies, books, theories that he has, everything. If you need to get in touch with him, contact carloswallace.com.
That's it.
So I'm excited, Carlos, and thank you again for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you.
Until next time, remember, you are good enough because God lives in you.